Kadima 2000 here, just to show you a quick YouTube video about my build on God of War Ragnarok. My end game build, of course. It's nearly impossible to get this build anywhere early or mid game. You actually need to certain items and certain pieces of the armor set and some of the enchantments. You can't get them early on. Some are actually acquired during the Crucible trials. Um, and if you don't come prepared, I mean, these can be tough. Luckily for us, um, when you reach the stage that I am at the moment, um, you will see this become just irrelevant. Even the hardest one becomes just stupidly easy. Anyway, that being said, let's have a quick look. So this is what we are looking about. So my build is fully optimized. I am at level 9, as you can see, and Freya, my companion, is also um, fully optimized for what we are doing here. So back to Kratos. For the chest piece, we have the Stain Bjorn Markart, which gives us 190 defense, which is what we want with this build. If you take a look to the top left corner of the screen, you can see that I have nearly 650 defense. You might wonder, why do I want so much defense? You get the answer soon enough. So the numbers you want to look at with this particular build is defense and runic. Of course, strength is important for the damage output, which we do have 322, which is not so bad considering. But the number we really want to pay attention to is defense. Anyway, with the armor, with the placard, you get an absolutely amazing perk, which is after significant damage is taken, Kratos' attacks will restore some lost health for a time, which is not a long time, but it can come in handy when the bloodthirsty retaliation perk kicks in. You will see that it does help and it does make a difference. For the wrist, I have the complete set. I have the gauntlets of the same armor, moderate luck chance to stagger and inflict stun damage to nearby enemies when damage is taken. This does not happen often, but it does happen. You will see it does happen sometimes. Um, Also, the waist is the same piece of armor. As for the amulet, this is where the secret for our build and for the success of our build kicks in. So we want to be using these three combinations of enchantments. The Svartalfheim's we want, um, because of the set bonus, increases stun damage inflicted based on Kratos' defense. So think about it. We are going to do more stun damage the higher our defense is. So when you have 650 defense, you can imagine we are going to do a lot of stun damage, right? You will see how much exactly we can output. As for the remaining bits we are using, I mean, we could put some more defense in there to reach 650, but I instead try to have some strength and some vitality in the mix, just to bring it up a little bit. Um, I could have used this one for the luck, but doesn't really matter much to be honest. Um, I could have this one because it does give one more um, defense. I might actually swap it, um, but we will lose defense, so no, keep it as it is. Um, the next piece we have is the Niflheim's enchantment set, which says increases Kratos' melee damage when he is above 75% health, based on his defense. So melee damage increase based on defense as long as we are above 75% health. And as you can see, you'll be seeing that shortly. We will be above 75% health most of the time. And finally, the Muspelheim enchantment set. Why this one? Well, if you look at our numbers, strength, defense, runic, vitality, cooldown, and luck, I mean, our third highest one is runic. Means that our runic attacks, as the stats help does, increase the power of runic attacks and elemental stat damage. Considering that's our third highest stat, this is the best enchantment scent to go for. And what does it say? Increases Kratos' melee damage when the permafrost, immolation, or maelstrom skills are fully charged. So basically, when our weapon is fully charged, doesn't matter if it's the axe, the blades, or the spear, you will have more melee damage based on the runic. So all of our sets increase damage or some type of damage um, based on our defense, which is 650, and also our runic, which is 214. It's not bad. It's very good actually. For 214, it's not easy to come by, considering that our main focus is defense. So that being said, let's take a look at the weapons. So on the Leviathan axe, if you are playing the way I play, when the permafrost skill gauge is fully charged, axe hits restore health, but incoming damage is increased. You could choose between this one, or there's another one is also quite useful, which is this one. You can trigger a realm shift if you want, and you can play around um, with the realm shift if you want. I find it that it's a bit distracting. Um, Also, you could use this one because you are going to stun so many enemies that you could constantly get further cooldown. Problem is, um, the stats on this grip specifically um, are not exactly what we want. This one gives us both strength and defense, and they are not they are quite good numbers. 29 strength and 34 defense from the grip alone is actually quite good. Um, Also, there was another good option is not this one. No, that was it. Yeah, that's the one. Those two are the ones I would go for. This one or this one. I don't really use Serpent Snare skill that much, and you will understand why in a minute. As for the the runic attacks, well, I'm using this one for obvious reasons. It has a 77-second cooldown. Um, this one is a 58, but as you can see, the damage and the frost is not mostly the frost enemy actually. Um, as in for this one, you you get like a knockout thing, uh, which I don't really want the knockout. I want the enemy to stay close to me as much as possible. This one, I find it to be very useless because it does absolutely no damage. It doesn't do any frost. It's got a good cooldown, but that's not really what I want. It does a lot of stun damage, but you are not going to need this kind of stun damage, and you will see why. As for this one, I find it very useless to be honest, because you have to kind of program what you want to do. It takes a bit of time. It's a bit in the meantime you are very exposed and you don't want to be exposed that much. As for this one, right, this is when it depends on what you're doing. If you're fighting single bosses or maybe pair bosses, I would go with this one. This is my number one option when I'm fighting bosses because it does a lot of um, damage and it does um, enough stun, I would say. This one again, it involves pressing R2 and you get very exposed. This one is what I use when I'm doing mob challenges, um, and I need to get some HP back, and you'll see why in a minute. This one, again, your axe flies away, and you want to keep your axe in your hand. Trust me. When you will understand why in a minute. As for the blades, obvious. Clone of Chaos. I mean, it's the best skill in the game for the blades. There's no point. And this one again because it's pretty good. And as you can see, it does a lot of damage, and it's got the top burn damage. And we are using the um, scorching burn because again increases the magic, the damage that the burn status inflicts on enemies. Now combine that with the runic that we've got, increases the power of runic attacks and elemental status damage. You can get a lot of damage output from this runic attack. As for the spear, we are using um, the sonic piercer for obvious reasons. The only arrows I use are the sonic arrows. You will understand why, because they do a lot of stun damage. Um, Spear attacks against sonic afflicted enemies deal bonus damage and build bonus Maelstrom skill charge. So you will see what happens when you build the Storm Maelstrom skill charge. Also, for the runic attacks, I use this one because it does build that very same Maelstrom skill quite rapidly. Every hit brings it up quite a lot. And this one, because it's a nice AoE that leaves a tornado doing damage to the enemies, is very useful. As for the shield, I have the Guardian Shield because it's it's very good for parries, um, and it just does the job. I considered previously using this one, um, but again, I just want defense as much as possible, and this is the highest shield with parry that you can get, just pure defense, 130. I mean, that's all said. As for the um, perk on it, I'm using um, Round of Deflection because you want increased timing window. You can use something else if you are a master of parries. I can say I'm quite good, but I still feel the need to have that there. Also because the number one focus of this is defense, and you want defense again as high as possible. I tried using this one because it does bring all the stats up, just like if you sacrifice 18 defense, all your other stats are going to go up, but then the skill hold L1 and then press L1 or L3 to fire a volley. I mean, I'm not focused on that, so I just found I was wasting it. As for the Spartan Rage, I mean, I want Fury. I just want Fury. I just want to kill everything as quickly as possible. As for the Relic, I mean, this is end game material, the hilt of Skofnung. Because, I mean, have you seen this before? If you haven't seen this before, and you are about to see it for the first time, you are in for a treat. Anyway, back to the build. Now, this is how you this the way you want to play with this build basically is when the enemy starts showing up, um, you want Freya to fire a sonic arrow, and while she fires, you run to the enemy and you do an R1 or an R2. I normally do the R2, and it immediately stuns uh, small-sized enemies. Medium-sized enemies, they might need a hit or two. It depends. Uh, but I'll show you with gameplay. It's probably easier.
Raider on the left.
So there goes the. See, that's how much stun we get. It just melts them.
Raider, left flank! Fire, right flank!
You see this big guy? Immediately gone. I'm playing very miserable, to be honest.
You're on fire, Raider. It will pass.
And he's gone.
Ah, give him what for.
Let's get that health just to be sure.
Fire on your left.
And one shot. And he's dead. Same thing, one arrow, you do R2 attack. And he's already dead. So it doesn't really matter. There you go. One or two arrows, and they're down. Let's get that health back up. Yeah, with these guys, you want to switch to the blade for obvious reasons. They got bigger AoE.
Watch your left.
Immediately stunned. Immediately stunned. Not even a challenge. I mean, oh, I didn't mean to do that. But okay.
Behind you, incoming.
Enemy behind you, Kratos!
One arrow. And there you go. Oh, I lost.
On
You
your
see the
back!
bloodthirsty retaliation?
Joker, left flank.
Well, you want to switch to the blade for a second here, just to melt his armor. Alright, you see my health?
Right side, brother.
The health goes immediately up while you do a stupid amount of damage. Now this is when you become ridiculous. So, yeah, that's all said. Immediately stunned, and immediately dead. Immediately stunned, and immediately dead. His little friend is also stunned. Oh, he hit me. Alright, the permafrost is fully up, so... Oh, I keep doing that for no reason. I mean, the damage output on its own is absolutely ridiculous.
It's down.
Behind you! Look out! Watch your left!
Immediately dead. One arrow. And boom.
Behind you!
Oh, I hate these little bugs. Best thing to do with these guys is just swap to the blade. Because they can be just a nonsense.
Watch out!
Back to the blade, back to the axe. Where you going, buddy? Yeah, once you get the fully charged. Oh, what are you doing, boy?
Behind you! Incoming!
Oh,
Enemies on the left. The Alpha.
immediately gone. Immediately gone.
Careful, brother! You're covered in Bifrost!
Thanks for the spear quickly. No need. Alright, so, I mean, you guys saw it. It was not my best of runs, to be honest. I took a lot of damage that was unnecessary. But, again, it kind of is the point of the build. You don't really need to worry about getting damage because your damage output, as long as your health is above 75%, is quite good. In any case, I'll do one more run, but this time, instead of having small enemies, we are going to do the challenging enemies, just so you can see the difference
The Alpha.
between. So, oh, it does hit me. It normally doesn't hit me. And he's stunned, and he's already dead. So, yeah, the amount of stun damage, you can tell it's just ridiculous. I forgot. And he's already stunned, so no matter.
The Alpha.
Jeez, I mean, you get so much stun damage with this build from all sorts of.
The Alpha.
And he's already dead. I mean, it's just stupid. It's just stupid.
The Alpha.
Oh, didn't interrupt. Again. And she's done. Keep in mind now, I am below 75%, so the damage is not even that good. And she's already dead.
They're healing! The Alpha!
Yeah, that's a lot of damage. I mean, pretty stupid. Yeah, so as you saw it with your own eyes, it's not like, even when you take damage, yes, the damage output will come down a little bit. Not that you can't get yourself back to full health. And also, every time you have the full permafrost, you just heal yourself back up. You don't even need to worry too much as long as you keep the damage flowing. I got hit way too many times as well, but I mean, this is basically it. I hope you guys enjoyed. If possible, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you're up for it. Much appreciated for your time and take care. Bye.